Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm absolutely delighted you've joined me today because we're diving into something that could genuinely transform your entire life. If you've ever wondered why the most successful people in the world seem to have this almost mystical relationship with the early hours of the morning, then you're in for a treat. Today, we're exploring the 5 a.m. mindset. Not just the act of waking up early, but the complete mental shift that happens when you claim those precious morning hours as your own. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why getting up at 5 a.m. isn't just about productivity, it's about fundamentally changing who you are and how you approach life. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. 5 in the morning? Are you absolutely mad? Trust me, I get it. There was a time when I thought the same thing. I was the person who'd hit the snooze button 5 times, stumble out of bed at the last possible moment, and spend the entire day feeling like I was perpetually playing catch-up. Does that sound familiar? But here's the thing, and this is where it gets interesting. There's actual science behind why our brains and bodies are primed for greatness in those early morning hours. It's not just some wellness trend or productivity hack. It's about tapping into your brain's natural rhythms and using them to your advantage. Let's start with the neuroscience, shall we? When you wake up in the morning, your brain is in what researchers call a fresh state. Throughout the night, your brain has been busy consolidating memories, clearing out mental clutter, and essentially performing maintenance. By 5 a.m., your prefrontal cortex, that's the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, creativity, and complex thinking, is at its peak performance. Your cortisol levels are naturally elevated in the morning, which isn't the stress hormone we often think of it as. In the morning, cortisol is your friend. It's what gives you that natural energy boost and mental clarity. But here's the crucial bit. This cortisol peak happens whether you're awake to use it or not. Most people sleep through their brain's prime time and then wonder why they feel sluggish and unmotivated later in the day. Think about it this way. Your brain is like a high-performance sports car that's been tuned up overnight and is ready to race. But if you don't turn the ignition until 9 or 10 a.m., you've missed the optimal driving conditions. The traffic of daily life, emails, phone calls, other people's demands, starts clogging up your mental motorways. Now let's talk about the compound effect, because this is where the real magic happens. When you consistently wake up at 5 a.m., you're not just gaining an extra few hours, you're creating a domino effect that influences every aspect of your life. First, there's the psychological impact. When you wake up early, before the world starts making demands on your time and attention, you immediately put yourself in a position of control. You're no longer reactive, you're proactive. This simple shift from reactive to proactive thinking changes everything about how you approach challenges throughout the day. I remember reading about a study from the University of Toronto that found people who wake up early report higher levels of life satisfaction and optimism. It's not just correlation, there's causation here. When you start your day on your own terms, you're essentially telling your subconscious mind that you're in charge of your life. But let's get practical for a moment. What does waking up at 5 a.m. actually give you? Well, if you normally wake up at 7 a.m., that's an extra 14 hours per week. That's 728 hours per year. That's like gaining an entire month of waking hours annually. Imagine what you could accomplish with an extra month every year. I like to call the time between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. the sacred hours. These are the hours when the world is quiet, when your phone isn't buzzing with notifications, when you can actually hear yourself think. This isn't just poetic language. There's something genuinely sacred about having uninterrupted time with your own thoughts and goals. During these sacred hours, you can engage in what I call high-value activities. These are the things that move you closer to your long-term goals, but often get pushed aside during the chaos of normal waking hours. Maybe it's writing that novel you've been thinking about, learning a new skill, exercising, meditating, or simply planning your day with intention. The key is understanding that not all hours are created equal. An hour at 5 a.m. when your mind is fresh and the world is quiet is worth far more than an hour at 9 p.m. when you're mentally exhausted and distracted. Here's something fascinating that happens when you consistently wake up at 5 a.m. You start to see yourself differently. This isn't just about changing your schedule, it's about changing your identity. You stop being someone who isn't a morning person and start being someone who takes control of their life. This identity shift is crucial because your actions flow from your identity. If you see yourself as someone who is disciplined, proactive, and in control, you'll naturally make choices that align with that identity throughout the day. You'll eat better, make better decisions, and approach challenges with more confidence. I've seen this transformation in countless people. They start waking up early, and within weeks, they're not just waking up early, they're exercising regularly, eating better, being more productive at work, and feeling more fulfilled in their relationships. It's like pulling one thread and watching the entire tapestry of your life reorganize itself. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Waking up at 5 a.m. is hard. Your brain will resist this change with everything it's got. Evolution has programmed us to conserve energy and stick to familiar patterns. Your brain will come up with every excuse in the book. You need more sleep. You can do it later. You're not a morning person. But here's what I want you to understand. This resistance is actually a good sign. It means you're pushing against your comfort zone, and that's where growth happens. The discomfort you feel when that alarm goes off at 5 a.m. isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong, it's a sign that you're doing something right. The key is to prepare for this resistance. Don't just set your alarm for 5 a.m. and hope for the best. Create systems that make it easier to succeed. Put your alarm across the room so you have to get up to turn it off. Prepare your morning routine the night before. Have your workout clothes laid out, your coffee ready to brew, your journal open to a fresh page. If you're currently waking up at 8 a.m., don't try to jump straight to 5 a.m. That's a recipe for failure. Instead, try what I call the 15-minute rule. Wake up 15 minutes earlier than usual for a week. Once that feels comfortable, push it back another 15 minutes. Gradually work your way down to 5 a.m. over the course of a month or two. This gradual approach allows your circadian rhythms to adjust naturally. Your body has an internal clock that regulates when you feel sleepy and when you feel alert. By shifting your wake-up time gradually, you're working with your biology rather than against it. Here's something crucial that many people miss. Waking up early isn't just about the morning, it's about the entire 24-hour cycle. If you want to wake up at 5 a.m. feeling refreshed and energized, you need to be asleep by 9 or 10 p.m. This means your entire evening routine needs to shift. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through social media or watching Netflix until midnight, you need to create an evening routine that prepares your body and mind for restorative sleep. This might mean having dinner earlier, dimming the lights in your home, avoiding screens for an hour before bed, or doing some light stretching or reading. Think of your sleep as an investment in your morning self. Every minute of quality sleep you get is a minute of increased mental clarity and energy for your 5 a.m. wake-up. What I find most remarkable about the 5 a.m. mindset is how it creates ripple effects in areas of your life that seem completely unrelated. When you start your day with intention and control, that energy carries through into your work, your relationships, and your personal growth. At work, you'll find yourself more focused and creative. You'll tackle important projects during your peak mental hours rather than leaving them for when you're tired and distracted. In your relationships, you'll be more present and patient because you've already taken care of your own needs and goals. Personally, you'll find yourself more confident and optimistic. there's something powerful about proving to yourself every single day that you can do hard things. Waking up at 5 a.m. is a daily victory that builds momentum for other victories throughout your day. I want you to imagine yourself 1 year from now. You've been waking up at 5 a.m. consistently for 365 days. That's 730 extra hours you've had to work on your goals, to think, to grow, to become the person you want to be. What could you accomplish with 730 hours of focused, uninterrupted time?
Maybe you've written a book, learned a new language, built a side business, gotten in the best shape of your life, or developed a deep meditation practice. These aren't just dreams. They're inevitable outcomes when you consistently show up for yourself during those sacred morning hours. So how do you actually implement this? Here's your action plan. Tonight, set your alarm for 15 minutes earlier than usual. When it goes off, get up immediately. No snoozing, no negotiating. Use those 15 minutes to do something that moves you closer to your goals. Next week, push it back another 15 minutes. Keep doing this until you reach 5 a.m. Once you're there, protect those morning hours fiercely. Use them for high-value activities that align with your long-term vision. Remember, the 5 a.m. mindset isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming who you really are underneath all the excuses and limitations you've accepted. The question isn't whether you can wake up at 5 a.m. The question is, what kind of life do you want to live? And are you willing to do what it takes to create it? Your future self is waiting for you at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Will you show up? Thank you for joining me today. If this resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what you're going to accomplish during your sacred morning hours. Until next time, remember, your life changes when you change, and change begins with that first step out of bed at 5 a.m.